5 minutes ago. What did you see? What's your takeaway those last 5 minutes of the game when they outscored you by 8?
Yeah, we had good looks that just didn't go down. I thought 5 possessions there. We had a couple good looks at threes and some good looks at layups and just didn't go down.
How'd you describe what you guys got from Kyrie tonight?
He was great. He was great on both ends, and again, as leadership, and he was aggressive and got good looks. He probably would think that he had some good looks at layups that didn't fall for him, but I thought he was great. And then being able to play off his teammates and get his teammates shots, he was good, really good.
You guys were down 16 in the first half. I mean, what did you just think about the overall effort to get back in that one?
Yeah, the effort was high. I mean, we expected them to come out, and as you said, we got down 16, but we kept fighting, and we had a lot of opportunities to take the lead. The ball just didn't fall for us.
On these nights like tonight when Kyrie is pretty much the only one that has it going in the first half, I guess, why do you think it was so difficult for other guys to kind of get a rhythm?
Yeah, I don't know if they didn't get a rhythm. They just didn't make shots. It's basketball. You can't be perfect. You're not going to make them all. And so PJ didn't make any tonight, and we still had a chance to get the lead in that game and find a way to win on the road against a very talented team. And so it just shows the character and that group in there. You can say underman, next man up. We put ourselves in a position to get a win, and we came up short.
How do you think you guys handled kind of the circumstances of the night, the hype, the hoopla, the emotion of facing Luka, and then just the challenge of defending him?
I thought we did a great job of the emotion of the game, understanding what our game plan and our job was to try to find a way to win. We put ourselves in a position, came up short, but I thought the guys fought. As you brought up, we were down 16, and we didn't let go of the rope. We kept fighting and found our way into this game, and could have went either way, but they were the better team tonight.
What do you think got Klay going tonight?
I thought Klay was great in that stretch there. He got us going, being able to slip and being able to catch and shoot, and the quarterbacks being able to find him. I thought they did a really good job there. Again, he had some looks that just didn't go down there in the fourth.
When you just kind of look at his season with you guys, how have you seen him manage the different adjustments of getting acclimated to a new team and then adjusting when Luka was hurt and post-trade?
He's a pro. He's a great player to coach. He's a great teammate. And so I think when you understand that, as he's seen this journey or this marathon quite a few times, it's understanding when to go. And he's been playing at a high level for us here the last couple of weeks.
We know Luka was Luka, but did you notice any difference in how he approached the game tonight, especially playing with a guy like LeBron?
No, I thought he was. He picked his spots. He was able to find his teammates. He was Luka. He drove it, made plays, and then also finished. Probably had some looks that normally goes down for him, but he was. He fills up the stat sheet like no other player. So I think he had a triple-double, and again he can find his teammates, and his teammates delivered tonight. Thanks.
The East achiever right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Klay, Coach said you guys had many shots, many chances, and had open shots. What was your takeaway from tonight's game?
I thought we fought hard. I think, I think we could have been better with the fouling. Reeves is great to get in line. So is Luka. But I thought we played a great game as far as effort and intensity. There's a couple possessions I wish I could have back instead of kicking out the three. We gotta take those layups. But tough trip on the West Coast, but there's a lot of positives to go back home with.
What was that like facing Luka for the first time?
It was strange, but he's a competitive guy, and so are we, so it was fun to battle. I know we'll see him at least one more time and maybe twice, but it was was strange at first, but once you run up and down the court a couple times, it's just another basketball game.
You played in a lot of big games before, but how much mental toughness does it take to play in a game like this where you know emotions are heightened?
This is a big regular season game, but it doesn't fit the bill of a Game 7 or elimination game or a world championship. But it is still a big moment. Anytime you face someone who did as much as Luka did for us, there's going to be emotions involved. So I thought we did a good job of playing through that and sticking together.
And then you obviously went back to play Golden State for the first time earlier this season.
3 times.
3 times.
What's up with that? Why we got to go there 3 times? They only got to come to us once.
And it was the extra game after
Yeah,
the
that's,
tournament.
come on. But we don't make the schedule.
Was there anything that you told Max about going against your former team for the first time that he kind of?
Not really. Max is a true pro, and he doesn't need that much coaching, especially on the emotional side. And I've been incredibly impressed with his game as his teammate, and he's got a super bright future.
Like a week before the trade happened, you were talking in Dallas about when you knew Luka was special was when he got Kobe out of the house. I mean, I don't know, did you think about that at all again when it happened? I mean, how have you just processed it? It's just kind of funny that came up the week before it happened.
Yeah, that's life, and I stand by what I said. I mean, that is true. You get Kobe out the house to watch you play, and you got something special. So Luka is a obviously special talent. You don't make the All-NBA first team 5 times without being that gifted. And but you got to put it you got to put it in the past, because there's no point in going back, because then you just can't appreciate what's ahead. And we got to just hold down the fort until we get healthy. But I really believe in this team, especially when we're whole. I know what a championship team looks like and feels like, and I know we have what it takes to do that. We just got to get whole and hold down the fort until we're healthy.
When you play a game like this, Klay, and it's so close in their building, do you allow yourself to think about what would have happened if you had your bigs?
Oh, yeah, every time, even in Golden State. That's human nature. You think about what it looks like when we're whole, and that keeps us going, and it's exciting, really. I mean, there will be a day where our team is completely healthy, and we will cherish those moments, because the NBA season is the war of attrition. So we just got to get right at the right time.
Klay, I know how hard you work, how much you put into this game, but, you having your family, your friends, you being healthy, knocking down shots, playing the game the right way always. How is it for you, just being able to be out here, doing what you love, but then also, just doing it at a high level and still being at that high level that a lot of people try and doubt and do whatever they want, but you always show them the opposite?
I don't take it for granted, just even playing as many games I've played in this year, being in the lineup consistently. It was really cool seeing Dr. Ferkel tonight. That man reattached my Achilles, so to see him and see how far I've come from the operating table to being out there on a nightly basis, it's a huge accomplishment for myself, and I don't take every night in an NBA jersey. To me is just an honor, and I've enjoyed every second of being a Dallas Maverick, and I know there's so much greatness ahead for us. We just got to stay the course.
What's the biggest challenge in facing a team with both LeBron James and Luka Doncic on it, given they both have unique, similar skill sets, especially from an IQ perspective?
I think the challenge would have to be what LeBron's doing is incredible, and they do play similar, so you got to try and just make it hard for them. And, we threw a lot of doubles at them, and they are great passers, so it's like a chess match, but it's incredibly fun anytime you get to match up with great players. Nice. No problem.
Excuse me.
tie game midway through the fourth quarter, and they outscored you guys 16-8 down the stretch. What was your takeaway? What happened those last 6 minutes of the game?
Man, it was just a lot of our effort was there with just our body positioning, and they were taking advantage of just where we were spaced out on the floor defensively. They got a few fast break layups. Braun was creating space in that dunker, and then down the stretch they made the effort plays that were necessary to get the win, which created that separation for them. So.
Kyrie, Luka talked a lot about the emotions of tonight's game, and part of that included you. He called you mi hermano. What was it like going against him?
Awkward as shit. It was awkward, but now I could talk about the emotions of it. It was awkward, but at the same time, it was fun. We got a chance to, feel like we were in practice all over again, going at each other. That was a good reflection point. And then just, seeing the crowd cheer for him and just get him going and see him make some of the tough shots that I've seen him make thousands of times. That's probably made it even more awkward. But, it was fun. It was fun competing. A lot of high-level basketball players out there, a lot of high-level plays, high IQ plays. It's what you want to be a part of as a competitor. And you could tell J.J. Reddick was trying to prepare the guys emotionally, especially Luka, and I feel like he handled himself well. It was a good show out in LA against two good teams.
Yeah, it was good, Kai. First off, got to give you your credit. I mean, shoot, even before I started the media company, been to several of your games, and you hoop every single time. Never once questioned if you give it your all, and you do that every single time. But
Thank you.
wanted to talk to you, bro. You scored a lot of your buckets in only 3 dribbles or less. Like, I had to ask you because, in this time, kids feel like they got to take a million dribbles to get to their spots. But you, even with all the creativity, you took 3 dribbles or less to score. If you look at it, it's only 1 bucket where you took more. Yeah. So, for you, how important is that, doing that?
It's very important. It's part of the adjustments that I make, the night before the game, or, watching film right before the game, just knowing how the defense is going to be playing me. I'm getting a lot of strong wings, very, lengthy at that in terms of being able to force me into positions out there on the floor where help is, or guard me one-on-one pretty tough. So 3 dribbles sometimes is all you need, and all you can use. Space closes up really quick. So trying to be efficient with that. And, if I take more than 3 dribbles, that double team comes pretty fast. So I got to get the ball either out of my hands or go try to make a play. And that's what I was trying to do tonight. A few of them were successful, a few of them weren't. But, I just take it to the bank of my memory. I take it to my memory bank, just being able to adjust moving forward and seeing how guys are going to play against me. Appreciate that, though.
Kyrie, I think Luka said after the game, relationship y'all have is just deeper than basketball.
For sure.
I was just curious, in the time y'all spent together, why do you think it was just a strong relationship between y'all? How'd y'all just develop that?
Because we had a lot of fun, bro. We went to Madrid. We started preseason in Abu Dhabi, which helped us out a lot, man. When you're on the road and you get to know someone and their family and you're introducing everybody to your friends, and, Madrid was very special because that's where he played, and I got a chance to meet some of his friends and his support system out there, and I think that just carried over into the season, and, he was in just great spirits, coming into the last season, and it was easy to, compliment him while he's having an MVP season, MVP caliber season. I feel like he, if not deserved MVP, he finished second, but at the same time, he carried us a lot of the way where, I was injured or hurt. And, he carried the brunt of responsibility. So I think for me, it was respect there before we played together. But then playing with him, he's just, innocent kid at the same time, just ultra talented. Whole world's in front of him. You want to protect people like that, too, because I feel like sometimes people come at him crazy, which is unnecessary, and he responds in his own way. But he's not from America. He's not used to the degenerative culture here, at times, especially when the narrative starts spinning. So my goal was just to protect him, man. And that's why it goes deeper than basketball. Been out a few times where just our families have connected, and, this is one of those lifetime things for me. I think he feels the same way. If he doesn't, I'll put him in a headlock.
You guys just got a little glimpse of what this looks like with AD, and obviously you haven't seen the full thing with D Live in the mix. How much time do you think you guys need to be able to kind of get ramped up with that duo to have a reasonable chance to see how
Make a
good you
push.
can be. Yeah, and how do you feel about kind of the possibilities at this point, based on some hope, obviously, but very little actual evidence?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I mean, we even framed it. Well, just to answer your second part of your question, I mean, this is a strong focus. This is still a deep focus here, and that's not going to change, especially as I'm getting prepared and as I'm talking to my teammates and the coaching staff is relaying things to me. Obviously we have injuries, and getting AD back would be tremendous. We want him to get fully healthy, or as close to 100% as he can be. Like you said, we've seen glimpses of it, but I think the ramp-up period is going to be an adjustment period too. I don't think it would be as hard of an adjustment just because he's a big and he's agile. He's able to pass, shoot, dribble. He's able to play without the basketball. He's able to lead us defensively and get himself going. So we're just going to be leaning in on his IQ and leaning on his skill sets and allowing him to play in space and be the player he's been, and also raise it to another level now that he's playing with other players that can complement him in a different way, other than when he was playing in the Lakers. So I'm excited about that, man. As a point guard, as one of the lead guards on the team, I'm excited to just throw it down to somebody, let them take the double team, and let me just play on the backside, you know what I mean? Or let me just play, 4-on-3 and make the decisions. But until that point comes, I'm just going to keep, ramping up what I'm doing and limit my turnovers, finish at the rim a little bit better. I missed some easy bunnies tonight. But yeah, just our margin for error right now is really small. So a lot of shots got to go in, and we got to get a lot of stops consecutively in order to be in the game. And down the stretch we were, but those effort plays, man, those 50-50 basketballs, position plays, and just thinking the game, time, shot clock, what's going on, and everybody getting used to playing like that. There were some shots out there where guys felt confident. I'm going to always support that. So are the coaches, and now it's just getting the best shot possible where we have our legs underneath us. It's a great shot for all of us, and it's not rushed.
Kyrie, what did it mean for you to see Kobe and Gianna's statue?
Man, it meant everything to me, man. It meant everything to me. I needed that before the game. I was, I don't know if anybody in here has ever dealt with that avoiding feeling, avoiding things that you know are going to kind of be painful or hurt you, and it's going to be best for you at the same time. That was one of those things. I hadn't been to the statue just because I was, all in my head, all in my emotions the last few times we've come here. And, obviously I've paid my respects to his family as well, and I always try to, Vanessa and the kids. At the same time, sitting in front of that statue just felt different. And I needed that before the game, just for my own peace of mind as I move forward in my healing journey. It's been a long time since I've had to face something like that. So sitting there before the game probably wasn't ideal timing, but I know I needed to do it. So I'm grateful, man, especially as God watches over me, and Gigi and Kobe and a lot of my ancestors are watching over me. So I'm just grateful. I don't take those moments for granted.
When you had the three bouncing in the fourth quarter, you gave the fist pump. Was that intentionally a little Kobe?
Yeah, I'm a little troll, man, at times. I definitely was giving that Kobe fist like a few times. Kobe held it a little bit longer like this, and he would grit his teeth. But for me, I was just like, yes, I got lucky in this building. So it felt good, man.
I think it was like the bottom out, right?
Yeah. You start gritting his teeth. Everybody knows that face too well. That face too well.
Luka really well, obviously, and one of the things when you get traded, it's like a rejection, right? Like it's something like, wow, they traded me. And since he's been here, he's talked a couple times about it's going to take some time for me to have closure. It's going to take some time for me to process. Have you seen that? Like I know you watch a lot of basketball, right? Have you seen just him the last couple of weeks trying to process this, and how did he look tonight, just in terms of his spirits, in terms of the Luka you know?
Well, number one thing I don't do is I don't try to judge Luka just based off of how he's playing basketball as much. I know it's his professional job. It's, got to do it as a teammate, but try to make sure he's just good as a human being first, and then everything else follows after that. I think I would add sentiments to his point of just, I've gone through being traded mid-season, having to pick up your family. You have all these thoughts in your head that you're going to be somewhere for the rest of your career, be with certain teammates. Things are going well. You feel like, there's not much room for, any change that you're expecting, right? It's just, I don't think he expected the change, and I think that's probably what leads to him feeling his emotions even more so in a deeper way. Rejection, I think that's a strong word. Some people would use other, other words to describe it, but sometimes it can feel like that, and you got to go through, your process of grieving, and I just think sometimes grieving in the NBA circles right now in basketball is not like a word we use, because like, just be tough, bro. Like, you go out there and play. You're playing for the Lakers, you're playing for the Mavs. Like, just pick it up, and everybody just expects you to turn over the next page and get over it. The reality is, man, we're human too. We've said it plenty of times, but he's still a young kid. We come in here at young ages. Some of us are emotionally mature. Some of us are not. Some of us have a good handle on what our responsibility is when we come in the league. Some of us do not. It requires development in that area as a human being. Basketball is not going to fix it. No matter if you score 40, 30, it's not going to hide your deficiencies or weaknesses, and we all have them. So I'm just saying, as a protective big brother, I was just looking at him from afar, sending him texts, making sure he's good. And when I saw him, I expected him to be over the next, that hill, as we like to call it, right? Just getting over that rejection or getting over the anger. Sometimes it could lead to hatred. Sometimes it could lead to uncertainty. So I'm just proud of him, the way he's just gone out there and played, and kept his family close, kept his friends close, know exactly who's in his corner. And he's got to, deal with the LA media. I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to deal with that. I'm in Dallas. I'm safely kept now. So, he has to deal with this LA media. I don't know what it's like here.
What was today like? What was today like in that journey of closure and stuff?
You said the journey of closure?
Yeah, like what in terms of turning.
No, it was a good step. Good step. Just steps every day. Steps every day. Again, he's human. He's gonna sometimes tell you guys how he's feeling. Sometimes he's not. Sometimes he's gonna pretend like he doesn't speak English, and sometimes he's not. He's gonna tell you how he feels. So you guys got to get used to him, man. I'm used to it already. Love the guy.
Kyle, you play with both Luka and LeBron. How did you kind of see their IQs working and meshing together out there?
Oh man, high level, man, and you can just see the nonverbal communication that goes on. And then you see them kind of figuring out their roles of when to press and when to be aggressive. You got JJ calling a heck of a game over there too, offensively, trying to attack certain weak points of other defenses and other opponents. You heard his quote the other day where he didn't get sleep against Denver. I asked him if he got sleep against us. He said no. So I said good. So that means he cared. He cared, and he put us, at the top of the list of like contenders in this league. You got to play hard against us. You got to adjust. You got to have adjustments. So it was exciting to be a part of this, but now you kind of take this one to the bank and get ready for when we see them in Dallas. All right, got you guys.
JJ, after they tied it at 91, what did you see specifically from Luka and LeBron kind of down the stretch, the kind of shots they're creating?
Thought we finally got organized. Didn't do a good job of getting to our spacing throughout the game. Finally got 3 people down the floor, corners filled. We kept going to empty side stuff, wasn't working. Just got spaced, and we got to our proper matchups and all that stuff. I mean, we created good offense at different points in the game when we did that. When we didn't get good offense. But I think overall, like again, Bron just kind of took over that game and felt like he was making a lot of plays with the ball, and made some plays that don't show up on box score. And our guys' defense that last 5.5 minutes to hold them to 8 points, our guys were just scrambling everywhere. And Bron was sort of at the head of that, made a little adjustment in that timeout with Luka's coverage, just put him in a drop and just a little curveball, and thought we did a good job with that. And then, we don't win the game if Bron doesn't take over. And we don't win the game if Doe doesn't make 3 massive plays. Again, another one that won't show up on a box score, but Luka drives against the switch. He sets the Gortat screen. Luka gets the layup. He finally gets an actual dunk on the tip dunk, and not just touching the rim while he puts the ball through. And then the back tap steal on Kyrie that led to a Rui basket. So I just thought, he led the charge down the stretch of just making winning basketball plays.
JJ, how do you feel like Luka handled the emotions of tonight?
I thought he handled it well. not a great shooting night, but made a lot of plays and had some good defensive plays as well. I just thought, he clearly was worked up to start the game. That's to be expected. But I thought he settled in. But I think some of the stuff with our offensive shooting woes was due to some organization problems and some spacing problems, and that affected everybody, and that affected him as well.
JJ, two for you to kind of piggyback on what you said about Dorian. Since you've gotten him, there has been kind of, I think, a through line in the overall team's ability and when it comes to the little things. How does he set the tone for that stuff? And did you feel that kind of late on those plays you mentioned? And then I guess secondly, LeBron has been on this run now for a month plus, but defensively he's been one of your best players. How?
Again, he defies what's normal. I would say with Doe, occasionally he needs some, what's the opposite of gentle? Harsh. Some harsh needling, but he can take it, and then he's right back at it. He normally does a fantastic job of just setting the tone with the toughness. And, we had some fun yesterday with the team defining what a banshee is in different cultures, and define what a banshee is in Laker culture. And I think Doe's a banshee. He leads that charge for us and sets the tone with winning basketball plays. And again, this is not an exaggeration. If you watch our basketball team every night, and you've watched our team now for the last 6 weeks or so, LeBron's playing at an all-NBA defense level. He is. And now, people may have perceptions of what he is as a defender. I watch it every night. He doesn't get scored on in isolation if teams do try to target him. He blows plays up. He's always in the right position, shifting, recovering. I think there was this perception of him at this age, like conserving energy. No, there's no conservation of energy on that end of the floor. He's played elite defense now for a while.
JJ, you mentioned one of your previous answers to your left. Yep, there we go. You mentioned one of your previous answers that you guys, it took you a while to get organized offensively. It didn't really happen so late. You mentioned the spacing. How much do you think the way Dallas defended you guys impacted that? And how do you feel like your team handled some of the more aggressive defensive strategies that they put out there, especially more so against Luka, and how the rest of the group handled those?
Yeah, there was some good stuff that came from the doubles on the empty side posts, but overall, I just didn't think we played well out of that. And then on the fires from the top, really just very undisciplined with our spacing, and that led to some tougher shots, some late clock situations. Again, last 6 minutes, we were very intentional about what we wanted to do. We had a good group in there to get spacing with 5 lasers out there. So I think somebody always just had to sacrifice and get to the dunker. But Rui got the layup with 1:05 to go, and Doe gets the tip in, and Braun gets the follow dunk as well. Like we did a good job of just being organized.
JJ, when you guys made the trade in early February, this game's on schedule. Like, we know that you're playing the Mavs tonight and then April 9th. How does it feel to have it, I don't know if out of the way is the right terminology, but you've made this step, you got the win, and now you move on to the next stage of the season?
Yeah, I think there's, it's not just for Luka. We talked about it before the game with the group. It's Max and it's AD, and we kind of just got to embrace it. It's just a little weird. It just naturally is. I've never in my life of playing basketball went to another team and then played them the first time and been like, oh, this is just another team. No, it isn't. It's healthy actually just to acknowledge it and embrace it, and then you play the game, and then you never have to do that again. Yep.
Luka, how did you just handle the emotions of the day and playing against your former team?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know. It's just so weird, the moments. I felt like I don't know what I was doing. And I'm glad we got the win.
The last 5+ minutes, you and LeBron, there's a lot of different interactions on the court, and you finding him and vice versa. What was that like for you, and how are you starting to develop this chemistry so soon?
Yeah, JJ said in timeout, let's get organized. And once we get organized on offense, we got a lot of weapons. So that was really big, and he's doing that at 40 years old, which is insane. The takeover in fourth quarter was unbelievable to watch.
Luke, I want to ask you about a specific sequence with LeBron in the fourth. After Klay had hit the three to tie it, you're posting up Christie, you pass it back out to the three to LeBron. LeBron throws it back into you to repost. Eventually, you find him open and he hits the three. But just what was that kind of interaction like there for you?
I think I talk a lot about patience. I think that was one of the best examples about patience. We kind of went back and forth. We expected the doubles, so we just think patience.
Luka, JJ's talked about the blackout episodes, and midway through the first quarter, you hit those back-to-back threes. They take one away, but kind of turn and
How is that even possible?
you turned and let out that roar, and it seemed like you were kind of hyping yourself up. I guess JJ said he felt like you were kind of going through it in the first few minutes of the game, and then you started to stabilize a bit. What was going through your head at that point?
Honestly, I can't remember. It was just a lot of emotions, not much sleep, but I can't even explain it was a different game. Like I said, sometimes I don't know what I was doing, and I'm just glad it's over, honestly.
Luka, obviously the emotions and stuff from the trade and the 7 years you've spent in Dallas aren't going to be undone in a night. But does playing them and being able to kind of put at least a tiny bow on it, does that help you, or do you think that will help you as you move ahead now that this is out of the way?
Yeah, definitely will help me. I think, especially like I say, I'm glad this game is over. And just a little bit, like you said, it's definitely going to help in the long process.
Luka, coming into tonight, a lot of your teammates expressed excitement for you to have this game to come to be a play against the Mavericks. What did their excitement do for you? I guess how did you feel? I guess their energy, not just tonight, but coming into tonight for you.
Sorry, can you repeat?
How did you feel your teammates' energy, I guess, galvanize around for you coming into tonight?
It was great. Like I saw Dodo say, we got his back, and it was amazing. They're trying to push me. I know I didn't play great, but, I'm glad we got the win, and, they're trying to push me more and more.
A few weeks into this, what have you learned about playing with LeBron after watching him for all of these years, and also how is the defense growing as a team?
Yeah, I think our defense has been, we're playing a high level, but I know a lot of things about LeBron. Just watching him every day, I can learn so many stuff, and it doesn't change my mind. He's an amazing guy to watch and play with him.
Hi, Luka, just a two-part question. One, I don't know if you saw Nico Harrison was there on the court when you were warming up and then sitting right behind the Mavericks bench, if you thought about going over to him or saying anything to him at all. And then just the second part is, have you ever had anything like this trade happen to you in your life? Like whether, I don't know, a breakup or something like that? Have you ever had anything like this experience?
No, definitely not. That was different. I definitely didn't have like that. But yeah, I didn't see him at warm-ups.
Not at all, just in the warm-up?
Luka, you said you didn't play well. You still had a triple-double. Can you describe what was it about your emotions that you were struggling with? And you said you had lack of sleep when you look back at this game.
Like I say, it's a weird game, different game. but I can't even explain what kind of emotions were. It was just a lot of emotions, you know, seeing the guys out there, seeing the guys I played. I went through a lot with the guys, so it was fun.
Luka, you have the handshake with Kyrie that you guys had in Dallas to start this game here. You go over to see Derek Lively after the game. Is there a specific moment, maybe with your old teammates, that you can share with us what that was like?
I mean, yeah, you know, Kai is my hermano. We go way beyond basketball, so it was good to see those guys. Like I said, we went through wars together, and it was really fun to see them all.
Luka, were you looking for some kind of closure with what happened tonight to allow you to move on? And if so, did you feel like you got that?
I mean, the closure is going to take a while, I think. You know, it just, it's not ideal. But, you know, like I said, I'm glad this game is over. You know, it was a lot of emotions. But we go little by little, you know, and every day is better.
Luka, if I could take you away from basketball for just a moment, you've mentioned the joys of being a dad. When your baby girl gets older and she's facing a new transition in life, what advice do you think you'll give her?
You caught me with that question. I don't know. I would just, you know, support my little girl and anything she do. I'm happy to see her grow up, and I want to be there for her.
Luka, buenas noches, ahora en español, sobre cómo viviste las emociones de este partido, desde previo al juego, el saludo con Kyrie, durante el juego y después poder celebrar la victoria con los Lakers.
Bien, ha sido muchas emociones, seguro, pero bueno, ver los jugadores que he jugado, que he pasado mucho tiempo con ellos, hemos ganado muchísimos partidos, hemos ido through las cosas también duras, así que también estaba feliz de ver esos jugadores que jugué con ellos. Thank you.
LeBron, you've alluded to this a little bit before, but there's kind of a basketball shorthand that maybe Luka and you can understand about the way you see the game. There were a couple elements of that in that final stretch after they tied it at 91. What were you seeing kind of collectively together down the stretch there?
Well, just trying to make the right plays at the right time. I think over that last 5.5 defensively, we buckled down, we got stops, and then we just wanted to execute. You know, obviously we still, you know, getting familiar about what, you know, our late game package is, where we guys need to be, where we need to be able to execute and get great shots. And, you know, we did that in that final stretch.
LeBron, there was obviously a lot of anticipation for this game and this matchup. How did you feel that Luka handled the emotions tonight?
As well as you can. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of emotion that goes in when you give so much to a franchise and you sacrifice for a franchise, and you know, you have that type of love and respect for the franchise, you know, and throughout all the journeys, you know, went to the finals, all that stuff, you know, and, you know, he's grown from being an 18, 19-year-old kid to now 25-year-old man and family and all that stuff. So you grow into a family with the franchise. And, you know, when you move on or they move on from you, it's very emotional, obviously. It's very taxing, and, you know, it's probably a lot of things that was going on in his head that probably didn't even involve the game itself, you know. So, and with that said, I thought he handled it tremendously.
LeBron, in the first quarter, the team showed a video honoring Anthony Davis's return, and I know maybe sometimes you're not locked into what's going on the video screen. One, did you see it? And two, how did it hit you, the way obviously the Lakers fans received him upon his return?
No, I definitely saw it. I watched it from start to finish. I mean, we know what AD was to this franchise and what he did for this franchise from the moment we got him. You know, to hosting the Larry O'Brien Trophy, to All-Star nods, to you know, we won the in-season tournament, first inaugural in-season tournament, and many dominant nights, you know, not only in this building but also on the road as well. And obviously our friendship goes without saying. He was one of my best friends, and you know, it was great to see him get that recognition and him get that moment.
LeBron, you had 16 points in the fourth quarter, but I think Dorian had 2. But there was a closeout in the corner, a Gortat screen that got Luka layup, and that poke away steal. Just what have his sort of intangibles meant to this team as it's kind of redefined itself here over the last 6 weeks or so?
Yeah, we knew exactly what we was getting when we got him. We knew we'd get things in the box scores, and then there would be things that didn't show up in the box score. He's just a winning player. He makes winning plays, and like you said, those 3 plays right there down the stretch, the Gortat screen, getting Luka that layup when the game was tied. I drove left on one of my possessions and missed a floater, and he tip-dunked it in, and then be able to get a tip from behind and got us another easy basket. 3 of the biggest plays of the game. So, you know, you got guys like Dodo. You just know that he's always going to make winning plays, no matter wherever, you know, from the first to the fourth quarter.
Hey, Bron, you're no stranger to the emotions of these big games and the pressure. Obviously, completely different circumstances, but playing against Cleveland for the first time after going to Miami comes in mind. What was your advice for Luka tonight?
No, I didn't have none, man. You know, obviously, we understood as his teammates that we wanted to try to get this win for him. Obviously, we know what transpired not too long ago. So, you know, as his teammates, we wanted to try to back him no matter how, you know, in any way, shape, or form, you know, on the court, off the court, whatever, you know. And I'm happy that I was, you know, along with my teammates, able to make a couple plays down the stretch to get him this win. I know it's probably won't say it, but I think it means something to him for sure. You know, anytime you face your former team, you spent 7 years with them, I believe. So it's tough.
LeBron, JJ said that he feels like you're playing at an all-defensive level right now, and you guys have had the best defense in the NBA since mid-January. What's fueling that extra pep? Do you see yourself as a driver of that?
Obviously, it's a collective thing, you know, but I take that side of the floor very seriously. You know, I take my matchups, you know, very seriously every night, and you know, to be able to, you know, get stops in this league, it makes your offense that much better. But it's just individual pride for me. You know, I kind of key in on my matchups. I key in on the pros and cons and what my guys want to do along with other guys, because it's a lot of switching that goes on in this league. You're different matchups, so try to read the scouting report along everybody and just make it tough. So, yeah.
LeBron, JJ mentioned that throughout the game at various points he didn't feel like you guys are most organized, but were able to find that organization offensively late. I guess what helped you guys find the offensive organization? I guess what's the process been like the past couple of weeks trying to, I guess, consistently find that process-wise?
No, it did happen, and it was still early in the process. So, you know, it will happen. I mean, obviously the trade happened, and I think we had 2 games before the break. You know, so you know, we had 2 games before the break, and then we had a week off. You know, so that doesn't help the process of us. You know, building that camaraderie and building the things that we want to do offensively. So it will come in every game, in every film session, every practice shoot around. We'll get an opportunity to be better and better. And I thought, you know, in the last stretch when that game was tied, it showed what we're capable of. So we're going to have to just build off of that.
You know, LeBron, so many times you talk about the process. What was it about the process that helped you this evening?
Just staying even keel, no matter what's going on in the game. We know teams are going to come here and they're going to play well. We knew they were going to play well. They didn't play as well as they would like to the other night versus Golden State, so we know we was going to get their best shot no matter who's in the lineup. So it's just about staying even keel, no matter if you're up 16 or you're down or you're tie game. How can you be as the best you can be on that possession and then the possession going forward? And I thought we followed that process and it allowed us to win the game.
Hey, Bron. Jake had said before the game how the great ones can block the noise out and overcome. Do you agree? And if you do, you're a great one. How do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, it takes time. You know, Jay is definitely right. You know, but it takes time to be able to, you know, go through experiences. I think the best teacher in life is experience. And, you know, I guess when you first start off, you're not great. but that's your aspiration, that's your goal, and you want to become great. But you have to go through adverse moments. You have to go through things that you maybe haven't seen before, so you know when if that happens again, you know how to handle it and how to channel it. So J Kidd is definitely right in the sense of being able to block out the noise. You may see it, you may hear it, but you still have the ability to kind of keep it at bay and block it out and keep the main thing, and that's the job at hand. Until you want to let it go. So, but J Kidd he's awesome. I appreciate it.